Welcome friends, I'm Katrina with Homegrown Florida, and today we are going to be talking about thinning our peach tree. Peach tree right behind me. And thinning is super important to increasing your yield, which sounds a bit backwards because you're basically killing peaches in order to make more peaches. So how does that work? Let's get right into it. The last time you saw Peachy, the peach tree, she was dormant with absolutely no leaves. And I know it's strange. I name my fruit trees, but you guys, they're going to be with me for a really long time. So we should be on a first name basis. Peachy here is 4 to 5 years old. I got her and I think she was probably 1 to 2 years old at the time, and she had not produced up to then. So I put her in the ground in spring and she gave me 12 peaches. Great for her first year fruiting, which is awesome. The second year I thinned almost all the peaches down. Not almost. I thinned her down to about 2 dozen peaches, so 24 peaches. Not a lot, but still a great harvest, and she did a great job. So this year is the big year for Peachy. We did a very heavy prune on her, and if you didn't catch that video, I'm going to throw it up here and down in the description below. So we pruned her back pretty aggressively because I knew that that's what she needed in order to really start producing a lot of peaches. And boy, did she produce a lot of peaches. There are a crazy amount of peaches on Peachy here, and the problem is if I were to allow her to keep all these peaches, more than likely those peaches are going to be tiny. And another thing that's going to happen is those peaches may cause some of these branches to break, because as you can see, these are pretty thin branches, and right here alone we have 6 peaches, y'all. There's 6 right here. If I were to allow 6 to hang on this part of the tree, the very edge, it would break this branch. And I don't want to do that to her, and I do want peaches. So we're going to be thinning today. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it and what to look out for when you are thinning not only your peach trees, but pretty much any fruit tree. Now Peachy here is a tropical beauty peach tree which was designed for Florida. I think the University of Florida is the one that helped design this particular peach tree. And that's important because peaches require chill hours, which means it has to get below, I think it's either 40 or 45 degrees during the winter in order for it to set fruit, and it needs so many hours at that temperature. Peachy here needs, I think, 200 to 250 hours, which is perfect where I'm at, because we get that easy every single year. But if you were to get a peach tree that's designed for higher chill hours, you are not going to get peaches. So keep that in mind when you're picking out a peach tree. So now let's talk about how we thin these peaches. So first off, you want to make sure that they're about marble size when you go to thin them. If you wait too long to thin your peach trees, the tree will have put all that effort into growing those peaches, and it's going to kind of fizzle out in terms of having the energy it needs to finish these peaches. And what we want with this peach tree is big, juicy, sweet peaches. If you don't thin them, you're going to get broken branches like we talked about, but tiny, tiny little peaches that are dry and kind of sour tasting. So we want the best peaches that we can get. So the first step with thinning is find you a branch. So this branch right here has 2 clusters. Let me show you the other cluster. It has 2 clusters. It has a cluster here, and then it has a cluster here. We're going to focus on this cluster first, and then we're going to work our way down there. Peaches should be about 6 to 8 inches apart. So we have 5 in probably a 2-inch area right here. This is way too much. The other thing to consider when you're picking which one to thin is how close it is to the end of the branch. This one is very close to the end of the branch, so I only want to leave one right here so that when that peach develops and it's nice and big, it will weigh this branch down a little bit, but not as much as 2 or 6 would do. So when you're picking out which ones to thin, I usually take off the smallest ones first. So this guy right here is pretty small. So we're just gonna snap him off. And this guy back here, once again, fairly small. This guy right here, and this one right here. Oh, that's 4, guys, 4. 4 would-be peaches. So now we're down to the 2 biggest ones. And so what you're looking for now is any kind of missed shape or possibly some bug damage, or if it looks like the peach might be diseased. Now, both of these guys look pretty good to me. They're both a good size. There's no bug bites. There's nothing going on with either one of them. They're basically little twins of each other sitting right here. So I'm just gonna have to pick. Oh, this is the hardest part. Okay. This one's a tiny bit bigger, but this one has a little bit more color on it. And it's a tiny bit further down the branch, but I'm going to go with the bigger one. So I'm going to take this one right here. Once again, you just kind of twist, snaps right off. So now we're down to just this one peach on this branch. And this is the one we're going to leave to harvest in a month or 2. Let's move down to the rest of the branch. So now we're down further on the branch. We have these 2 guys right here, and they are way too close to each other. And this is kind of an easier pick because this one is misshapen and this one is shaped properly. So this is an easy one. We're just going to take this guy. Now this next set that we're going to prune, I'm going to do something against my own rules. But I can't help myself because this is Peachy's big year and we need to get her with peaches on it. So what we have here, oh, we have a lot right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, bring it down a little bit, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 within the 6-inch mark. So with 8 in a 6-inch mark, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the furthest ones and I'm gonna keep those. So this one and this one, even though this one right here is a little bit small, I'm going to keep that one because it's the furthest away from this one. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to leave one in the middle. Yeah. And I feel comfortable doing this because this particular branch is very close to the part of the tree that is connected. So I know that having 3 right in this particular area is not going to cause this branch to break. I also know that there's enough distance between them and there's not any peaches on the end of this branch that is going to take away some of that nutrition. So I'm breaking my own rules and we're going to leave 3 in this 6-inch space. So the first one we're going to take is the ones in between. So we're going to leave this one, this little guy right here, and we're going to leave this one right here. You can see him. He's kind of on the back end of the branch. And then we're going to leave this guy right here, which is the furthest on the branch. And look at these two fused together. So that would definitely be one you want to get rid of because they're not going to do well. I know it hurts. I know it hurts because these would have made great, yummy peaches. Now let's thin down the rest of our peach tree. don't thin your peach tree too much because, I mean, we want peaches, right? But I would say thin it down to about 50%. That way, if you do have more loss, because that is completely possible, guys. I have squirrels and they love peaches. On top of that, there's different bugs, worms that could get in here. There's disease that could happen on some of the peaches. So if we did absolutely all of our thinning right now, we are still going to experience loss, and we want to make sure that we have a good harvest. So keep it at most 50%. 70% would be even better, but make sure they're not right next to each other. And there you have it, everything you need to know about thinning your peach tree, or any other fruit tree for that matter. It was easy, right? Well, not easy, because it was hard taking off those peaches, guys, but it's necessary, and we do what's necessary for the health and the productivity of our plants. If you didn't watch it yet, make sure to watch this video here on how we pruned peachy last winter, so that you make sure that you do that next time, as well as make sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the harvest that we're going to do with peachy in just a few weeks, guys. These grow fast.